This week's e-video message is all about goal setting. Now, obviously, we have a limited amount of time to talk about goal setting. I encourage you to come out to one of our advanced training programs and learn a lot more about goal setting, how to do it, why it's so important, and the specifics that you need to be doing to achieve the level of success that you want. But today, we're going to give you a quick understanding of goal setting and how you can implement this right away to start seeing progress in your business and in your life. So first, let's imagine a target, right? Because you need something to shoot for. If you don't have anything to shoot for, how can you ever hit it? So there are 4 components, and think in terms of a circle and breaking it down into 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is setting a specific goal, meaning what do you specifically want? Is it amount of money? A lot of times people say, I want a lot of money. Well, what's a lot of money? To some people, $1,000 is a lot of money. To other people, $1 million is a lot of money. You've got to be specific. I know when I first started setting goals, one of the first things I was really striving for was a luxury automobile. Now, of course, if I close my eyes and say, I want a luxury automobile, what's going to come to mind? There are so many different types. You have to be specific. So I said, I want a Mercedes-Benz. I wanted a 300E. This was back in 1990 when I started setting goals. And I said I wanted to be black exterior and black interior. And I set that specific goal. And that's what you want to do. Be very, very specific so your brain can actually see it crystal clear. The second quadrant to setting simple goals is you got to date it. When specifically are you going to have this? So for me, I set a goal in about October of 1990 that I was going to have that Mercedes-Benz by July 1st, 1991. It was very, very specific. You got to set a specific date, and you got to make it public. You got to tell people about it. And if you're not willing to tell people about it, what does that mean? That means you're uncertain if you're going to do it. You have doubt. And it's impossible to be successful with doubt. You've got to have zero doubt that you're going to achieve it. Therefore, why can't you talk about it publicly? Now, I'm not saying brag. I'm not saying be arrogant. I'm saying be confident and believe that you're going to achieve your goal. So date it and make it public. The third component is, what are you willing to invest to get it? A lot of times people may call it a sacrifice, like, well, I've got to give something up to get my goal. Well, that's not necessarily true. See, in an investment, you got to give something, but ultimately you get what you put in back, that investment, and you get the additional part, which is your goal. So for me, I was willing to not play basketball at all. And that's something I love to do. It's something I did several times a week. And I gave that up in the short term. I invested in my basketball to get my goal of that Mercedes. And once I got my Mercedes, then I started playing basketball again. What are you willing to invest? Are you willing to invest golf? Oh, I know some of you are freaking out right now. Or are you willing to invest something you love to get what it is you specifically want to ultimately get that back plus your goal? And lastly, the last component is you got to have a game plan, and then you got to walk that game plan backwards. So I'll give you an example. If you wanted to get to the top step of a staircase, you wouldn't start back and then run and try to jump to the top. There would be obviously a lot of individual steps to get to the top. And that's what you got to do. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve, have that game plan, break it down by each individual step, and then start walking it backwards and then going all the way through the process, and that is how you will ultimately achieve goals. So make sure that you set a goal specifically, you date it, make it public, put what's very important to you and invest it in, and then make a game plan and walk it backwards. And if you do all those things, you'll soon be achieving all the goals that you set for yourself. We'll see you next week.